Let's talk remakes. Alright, so recently on my Final Fantasy Impressions video part 2, I received a comment from a YouTuber, a random YouTuber, saying, what do you think about Final Fantasy VII? Do you think it's going to come out on the 360? And that got the wheels in my head moving. I started thinking about, why the hell does everyone want remakes? Are we that we ran out of ideas already for video games? Is that all we have? Is 10, 20 years worth of ideas that we have to go back to games that came out? What, Final Fantasy VII came out in, was 97 or 98? So they're not even 20 years old? That's insane. I would much rather, personally, although I would like Final Fantasy to just die off altogether, at least wait 20 years, 30 years, and have someone else, or just have someone else make it. Don't update the graphics and make the battle system a little bit better. That's ridiculous. I actually have right here a remake Pokemon Heart Gold. I'm not talking any bad shit about this game because it's a very well made remake, but it's a remake all the same. It's the same game I played back when I was a little young Chris Clement, back in the Game Boy Color era. So, I mean, they gave you the Pokewalker, and they gave you some other features, but all it is updated graphics, the same mechanisms. They could have been making new games when they were making this. They gotta get it together. It's different for games like, let's say, Turtles in Time. They did a Turtles in Time remake, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head. And they remade Contra, and they remade Castlevania Adventures on Wii. Those are two Wii downloadable titles. Those are different because A, those are downloadable. I can't even talk. Those are downloadable titles, and B, those don't have high production value as to where you would need an entire team of developers and years and billions of dollars to make that. That's something that you get a bunch of guys together. They can work on it, get it out, and you release it as a downloadable, $10. Everyone's happy. People want remakes of Final Fantasy VII. They want remakes of Ocarina of Time, which, admittedly, I would love a remake of Ocarina of Time, but you have to think about it realistically. Would you rather have a new Zelda game that is like it could potentially be better than Ocarina of Time, or would you just play through Ocarina of Time again? Me, personally, I'm more of a nostalgia guy. I'd much rather play a game in its original form than play the updated version, because the original form brings back a lot of good memories for me. I played Ocarina of Time countless times. And Final Fantasy VII, if a remake came out hypothetically, people are like, oh, it should have, what was that movie? Advent Children graphics, but it would still be the same game. So why would you even bother? That's a waste of money in my books, to put down $60 on a game you already played and probably paid $60 for before. People just need to realize that we're not out of ideas yet. We still got plenty of good ideas out there. There's good developers out there. People need to broaden their horizons, and instead of remaking Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy this and Final Fantasy that, make a different series or expand outside of your horizons, because who knows, there are good games out there that you have not played yet. And there are ideas out there that will be genre-breaking, and they will revolutionize the RPG series. Instead of just remaking Final Fantasy VII with stupid updated graphics. That game isn't that good anyway. Cloud's an emo bitch. Sephiroth is not that badass of a character. I'd much rather fight Alucard. That's someone that's a real badass, not fucking Longsword Sephiroth. All the characters are annoying. I'm sorry, there's a fucking cat controlled by a little whatever the hell that thing was. That's a stupid idea for a character. Are you kidding me? I'm getting off track. This is not a Final Fantasy. I like the game. Like I said, I beat it and I enjoyed the battle system. Battle system was great, but there are other things that can be made. So why don't we put all of our production efforts into making those new things instead of going back and revisiting old ideas? And the only way I think a remake should happen, if it needs to happen, is if you hand it off to a different developer. Like, let's say you give Ocarina of Time and give it to Kojima to make? How would that turn out? That would be awesome. That's the kind of ideas people need to take, but it is also very risky, because what if you give it to another developer and Kojima turns it into a Metal Gear Solid ripoff? That wouldn't happen. Of course, Kojima's amazing, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. And it's the same deal with movies, too. A lot of movies are getting remade. What was it? Clash of the Titans, which that really didn't need to get remade. It was the original movie was terrible, but it was like laughably terrible. I have a lot of good memories with that movie, instead of just remaking it into something that the original wasn't. And then what else have they remade? They were gonna remake The Warriors, I think. I don't know if that came out ever or not, but that's a dumb idea. If you do that, that's one of my favorite movies. If you remade The Warriors, I'm coming out with my burning stakes, and I'm going straight to the production studios, and I'm getting answers. Movies are also, they're just getting a little lazy. Everyone wants to just cash in on a make a quick buck, make a lot of quick bucks. But I see through the veil that these companies set up, and I realize that if they put a little bit more time into their research and development, and maybe we're a little bit more risky, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. Well, guys, that was just a quick little rant video. I just wanted something I've been thinking about. I'll do more of these. They'll come and go as I have ideas. But thanks for watching. Take it easy.